A very good morning to all of you. Myself, Anuj Dwivedi. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Manjil Education by Anuj Dwivedi. Today, I have come up with Ctet 2020 EVS Short Notes video number 3. This is the last video for EVS Short Notes from NCERT class 3 to 5. So let's start our video. If you are watching for the first time, please do subscribe my channel so that you can get latest notification whenever I upload the video, and share the channel or share the video so that another people can also get help from this video. Let's welcome to my YouTube channel. So let's start our slide. Across the wall, the Nagpanda and Afsana Mansoori basketball teams are in Mumbai. Victoria Terminus Station railway station is in Mumbai. Sholapur is in Mumbai. Bachu Khan Playground is in Mumbai, named after a coach Mustafa Khan. A seed tells a farmer's story. Wangam is in Gujarat. In old times, good seeds were stored in dried gourd, lauki, coated with mud. Neem leaves protect seed from insects. Undia is a kind of dish sabji prepared. Where it is prepared? Keeping the pot inside between the two coals means down in Gujarati. Undia is being eaten with bajra rotis and homemade butter, curd and buttermilk. By growing the same crop over and over using so many chemicals, the land becomes unfertile. Crotons plant give signal when the soil becomes dry. The root of the crotons do not go deep in the ground. So when the top layer of the soil becomes dry, the croton leaves bend and become limp. The earthworms soften the soil by digging underneath to make tunnels. Whose forest? Kuduk is a community of Adivasi people in Jharkhand. The forests are disappearing in their place, mines and are being dug, dams are being built. Torang means jungle in the Kuduk language. Right to Forest Act was made in 2007. This question is always asked in CTET, that when was the Forest Act made? The land in which we grow 1 tin of seed is called 1 tin of land. Jhum farming. What is jhum farming? After cutting one crop, the land is left as it is for some years. Nothing is grown there. The bamboo or weeds which grow on that land are not pulled out. They are cut and burned. The ashes makes the land fertile. When the land is ready for farming, it is lightly dug up, not plowed. Weeds and other unwanted plants are also not pulled out, they are just cut so that they get mixed with the soil. This also helps in making the soil fertile. This is being done in Mizoram. The main crop here is rice. The people celebrate when the crop is. Polio is caused by a virus. It is not inherited. A doctor can be invited to spread information about this disease. Gregor Mendel was born in poor farmer family in Austria in 1822. For 7 years, he did his experiments on 28,000 plants in the garden of monastery. Pea plants have some traits which come in pairs like seeds, is either rough or smooth. On the move again. The Shara comes after the rainy season. Farming of sugarcane needs much water. Puran poli, sweet rotis made from jaggery and gram. This is being eaten with a spicy curry dish. Caravan is a bus or a cart in which one can live with all the facilities. Rats have poor eyesight but have excellent sense of smell, touch and taste. In Nagpur, they put sugar in dal. In dance, the hands and face are used to convey feelings. These are called mudras and bhavs. The owl can rotate its neck backwards to a large extent. Next is, a bird's feather help it to fly and keep itself warm too. From time to time, birds lose their old feathers and new ones grow in their place. About Braille. Braille is written on a thick paper by making a row of raised points dots with a pointed tool. Braille is read by running the fingers on the raised dots. Louis Braille belonged to France when he was 3 years old. He was playing with his father's tool. Suddenly, a pointed tool hurt his eyes. He lost his eyesight. Finally, he found a way reading by touching and feeling. This way of reading later comes to be known as Braille script. This script is based on 6 points. Braille can now also be written using the computer. Next, in the beginning, pots were made of stone and clay. People made pots of stone by digging and scraping stones with their hands. Kahwa, tea, which is tea with almonds and cardamom, is being taken in Srinagar. The Dal Lake is in Srinagar. Tourists enjoy the ride of shikara in Dal Lake. Birds prevent fruits from insects as they eat them. Bajju village is in Rajasthan. Symbols are important to make children understand about maps. This is the content from NCERT, EVS. Let's study about Karnam Maleshwari. Always the question being asked about this. Have you seen or read about the newspapers? Karnam Maheshwari is a weightlifter. She lives in Andhra Pradesh. Her father is a police constable. Maleshwari started lifting weights when she was 12 years old. Now she can lift a weight of 130 kilograms. Karnam has won 29 medals in international events. Her 4 sisters also practice weightlifting. In December 2004, few tribes in the forest, the Andaman Island, noticed the animal behaving. What is next? Plants which hunt. This is the plant. There are some plants which trap and eat frogs, insects, and even mice. That is pitcher plant, also known as Nepenthes, is one such plant. It is found in Australia, Indonesia, and Meghalaya in India. It has a picture-like shape and the mouth is covered by a leaf. The plant has a special smell that attracts insects to it. When the insect lands on the mouth of the plant, it gets trapped and cannot get out. Think over it. In 1986, there was no rain in Jodhpur and the surrounding areas. People remembered the old and forgotten step well, Bauli. They cleaned the step well and more than 200 trucks of garbage was taken out of it. People of the area collected money. The thirsty town got water from the step well. After a few years, it rained well and again the step well was forgotten. Through the eyes of Al-Biruni. More than 1,000 years ago, a traveler came to India. His name was Al-Biruni. The place that he came from is now called as Uzbekistan. Al-Biruni carefully observed and noted down the details of that he saw. He wrote specially about those things that he found very different from his own country. Here it is the part of which wrote on the ponds of that time. The people here are very skilled at making ponds. My countrymen could be surprised to see them. They pile up huge rocks and join them with iron rods to build chabutras, raised platform all around the lake. Between these, there are rows of long staircases going up and down. The steps for going up and coming down are separate, so there is a less crowding. Today, when we study history, we can learn a lot about those days from the writings of Al-Biruni. This stamp came out in 1973, 1000 years after his birth. What is next? Alone on the mountain top. A 12-year-old girl living in the mountain was out on a school picnic. She climbed a mountain peak of 4,000 meters with his friends. The girls had done this for fun and adventure. Soon it was dark and they could not come down. It was also cold and scary. They were alone without any food and it was a long night. This happened to Benchendri Paul played when she was younger. Benchendri grew up in Nakuri village in the Garhwal area of Uttarakhand. Always the question is being asked about Manchendri Paul, about her profession, about her where she lives, in which state she lives. These all things always asked. So do remember this. When she grew older, she joined Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, Uttarkashi. Her guide was Brigadier Gyan Singh. Machendri did very well in her training. She started to train women in mountaineering course. In 1984, Machendri was selected as a team member to climb the Mount Everest. Next is snowstorm. Climbing slowly, it was 7 minutes past 1 o'clock in the afternoon of 23rd May when Benchendri Paul stepped into the peak of 8,900 meters high mountain Everest called Sagarmatha in Nepal. The question is being asked about the how much meter it was, height of Mount Everest. There was another team leader with her, team member. There was no space for two people to stand on the top of the same time. She bowed her head, pitched the national flag, and took photographs. She spent 43 minutes on the highest peak in the world. Benchendri Paul became the first Indian woman and the fifth woman in the world to reach the peak of Mount Everest. The world famous Pashima. Always question is being asked about Pashima. What is Pashima? So let's see what it is. It is believed that as a Pashima shawl as warm as a 6 feet. It is very thin yet very warm. The goat from which the soft Pashima wool is collected are found very high altitudes of 5,000 meters. In winter, the temperature here drops below 0 degrees Celsius to minus 40 degrees Celsius. A coat of warm hair grows on the goat's body which protect it from extreme cold. The goats shed some of their hair fur in summer. This hair is so fine that 6 of these would be thick as one hair of ours. After almost 250 hours of weaving, one plain Pashima shawl is made. It is a long and difficult process. So, do remember about Pashima. You will definitely get questions from this. Now, whichever the things are being highlighted, that is very important. Ahmedabad, this is the picture. Ahmedabad, January 26, 2001. At least 1,000 people are feared dead in the earthquake that struck in Gujarat this morning. Many thousands have been injured. Army jawans have been called in a help. At least 150 buildings have fallen in the city of Ahmedabad. In these, there are a dozen multi-storied buildings. But this evening, around 250 bodies have been removed from this building. It is feared that several thousand people may still be trapped. Rescue efforts are going on. There is perhaps no building in the city which has not developed the cracks. The situation is Bhuj is even worse. People are running around in shock and panic. Within an hour of the earthquake, the fire engines had reached and started work along with the local people. Offers are to help and coming out on the corners of the country and abroad. Next is Right to Forest Act 2007. People who have been living in the forest for at least 25 years have a right over the forest land which is grown on it. They should not be removed from the forest. The work of the protecting the forest should be done by the Gram Sabha, by their Gram Sabha. It is the Forest Act. So you will definitely get these questions from here. Now experiment with peace, rough or smooth. Gregor Mendel was born in a poor family in Austria in 1822. He was very fond of studies but very thought of examination made by him nervous. Oh, to feel the same. He thought of becoming a monk in the monastery. For 7 years, you just have to read only those things which I have highlighted it. For 7 years, he did experiments on 28,000 plants in the garden of monastery. They stood it many years after his death. He found that peace plant has some traits which come in pairs, like the seed is either rough or smooth, it is either yellow or green, and the height of the plant is either tall or short. Nothing is between. The next generation, the children of the plant which get either rough or smooth also have the seeds which are rough or smooth. There is no seed which is mixed, a bit smooth, a bit rough. Seeds which are either green or yellow give rise to new seeds which are either green or yellow. The next generation, does not have the seeds with the mixed new color made both green and yellow. So this was we. I have come from Mohan village in Assam. It rains heavily on our place. Hence our houses are made almost 10 to 12 feet above the ground. They are made on strong bamboo pillars. The inside of our houses are also made of wood. So always question is being asked, where are the houses made of bamboo pillars? So you have to say, take the answer Assam. This is the house that is built in Assam. Now thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day. Thank you.